48% of people who are married or living with a partner say they argue about money, mostly spending habits. One person tends to spend too much money, while the other tends to be too cheap. The remaining fights stem from someone being dishonest about money, how to divide the bills, forgetting to pay a bill, or financial priorities being misaligned. With all this strife happening behind closed doors, it's great that you clicked on this video because I'm about to share 9 practices that allowed my husband Carlos and I to establish a strong financial foundation together and grow our net worth to over $800,000 in the past 8 years that we've been together. Applying these tips will drastically reduce the odds that your relationship ends due to money issues, so let's get into it. As soon as possible, gain an understanding of each other's financial situation.
Make it a date night. Why not?
Now, I'd love to know in the comments how long you knew your partner before you brought this up, or if you're still working on the courage to do so. This can be really difficult and feel deeply embarrassing, especially if you're not where you want to be yet. So have empathy with each other. It's just one of those things that you have to be upfront about: how much you make, how much you spend, and your debts. Understanding that money issues are a leading cause of relationship problems and divorce, getting to a point where you each feel strong financially before getting married can kick things off in a good way. But if you're already married, it's not too late. It just means you take a team approach. One person's debt becomes both partners' debts. It would make no sense for one partner to be investing while the other is paying off a 23% interest rate credit card. Over time, your wealth building abilities will be handcuffed. When you get what's important to your partner, it'll foster a shared desire to help each other. Carlos didn't have debt other than his car, and he had about 70 grand saved up and was investing in his 401k. I had credit card debt, a student loan, and nothing saved, but I did have a home that I put 6 grand into buying. Because of this, it was a priority for me to keep costs low until I paid off my debt and established a savings account. Carlos, understanding this, allowed me to feel free to take care of my stuff and live on a tight budget without the shame of feeling behind after it was all out in the open. In the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, Timothy Ferriss suggests getting location freedom so it's easier to make multiple streams of income. Carlos's job took him all over the world, so it was important for us that I have the ability to travel with him. This was one of the many reasons it was a shared goal for me to start and grow my business. Find things that light up a fire in both of you so you stay motivated to manage money well. Some ideas include taking mini retirements, also suggested in that book, buying a home, helping your partners, helping your parents or kids financially, starting a business, and of course, paying off debt, starting an emergency fund, and investing to accelerate the time it takes to reach your goals. It's significantly easier to avoid overspending if you've got meaningful goals for your money. Without direction, money slips through the cracks, leaving both of you confused as to where the money is going and unable to actually experience financial freedom. What can be measured can be managed. Let me know in the comments if you have a shared place to capture your finances, and if not, create one that includes a snapshot page listing the expenses, income, and debts that you both have, along with the interest that you're paying on those debts. You can also create a spending and savings plan here that includes your goals. From time to time, Carlos and I track our spending just to get an idea of where everything's going. I suggest doing this periodically to ensure that you're on track, not to judge each other. If you notice you're spending more than you'd like on a certain category, this can allow you to catch it and refocus on your shared goals. It's in our nature to want autonomy and independence, so combining finances can feel counterintuitive. At least it did for me. When we first got married, we planned to keep things separate because I didn't want anyone assuming that Carlos supported me financially. I wanted to maintain my independence, so we split everything 60-40, with Carlos paying more since his income was higher. And after several months of transferring money back and forth, it became clear that we were complicating things for no reason. I was able to get over that desire to have my own money when I realized a few things. Just because we share money doesn't mean we lose our independence. It doesn't matter what other people think of our finances because it's our business and we're a team. I believe Carlos and I will be together, so combining everything is simply a reflection of our team approach to managing life. And how strange would it be if when either of us has our first 7-figure year, we keep all that extra money separate? Like, Why? It's not logical. When one of you eventually passes away, in most cases, that money goes to the other person anyway, so you may as well benefit from sharing everything before that happens. Logistically, to help us maintain that feeling of independence with spending, we each use our own credit cards for daily spending, and we pay the balance from a joint account where all the bills are also pulled from. For this to work, you have to be on the same page with your goals, understand how much of a surplus you have after your expenses are paid monthly, and communicate about unusual purchases. Of course, every situation is unique, but combining finances could be a good option to simplify life and make it easier to reach your shared financial goals. If you're considering using a credit card for furniture, engagement rings, your wedding if you're not married yet, or anything really, take a major step back and look at the big picture of your finances. Going into debt is literally the opposite of creating a strong financial foundation, so avoid it at all costs. If you don't have extra money for the things or experiences you want in life, let this motivate you to increase your income, decrease your expenses, or a combination of both until you can comfortably afford what you need and want. If you already have high interest debt, create a plan to pay it off as soon as possible. I suggest entering your numbers in a loan payoff calculator so you understand how much you're paying in interest, and then into an investment growth calculator so you can see what those payments would grow to once you have that debt paid off. How boring is it to have a chunk of money doing literally nothing? Especially when there's a list of things you'd love to spend that money on. Having money in the bank will keep you from living on the edge month after month. It'll keep you out of crippling debt and allow you to feel comfortable investing, which will greatly increase the odds that you establish wealth to enjoy for your future. The easiest way to do this is to look over last month's spending and find the spending that you regret. Make a commitment to stop that spending and move that dollar amount over to your savings account right when you're paid. Increasing your income will make saving easier, of course, but as you work on that, cut costs that are easy at first, and remember that you don't have to penny pinch forever, just for this moment in time as you establish this so you can get ahead. If you're in your 20s or 30s, retirement can seem like an eternity away, but time will pass faster than you realize, and the sooner you start setting money aside, the less you have to save to reach a decent balance later. Start by taking advantage of employer plans or open IRAs for each of you, even if you're on a tight budget. Invest a small percentage of your income to establish the habit and make it easier to incrementally increase as your income increases. You can also start investing in a brokerage account for any pre-retirement goals, or as a way to invest beyond your retirement limits once you reach that ability. Entering your numbers in investment growth and retirement planning calculators can give you the motivation to keep investing and track your progress. To ensure you're on track to reach your goals, adjust things as needed to accommodate any changes in your situation, and let me know in the comments how long you've been with your partner. I'd also love to know what you're working on in your financial life together.